snow falls and covers tracks, making investigating hard. Pretending to be a detective. I need to ask around town, because it sounds to me like Braden Lyrian was never a vampire, and this Reynald Draelis has used the vampire story as a cover-up to kill him. Now, why would that be? There are several possibilities. 1. Reynald Draelis is a vampire and Braden Lyrian knew, so he killed him to cover it up. 2. Reynald Draelis is a vampire Braden Lyrian didn't know, but he was one of his victims and he used the vampire story to cover up him feeding. 3. There is some sort of previous connection between the two, and he's killed them. He's killed him over that. Either way, I think the vampire story is a cover-up, either for him being a vampire or as a reason to just kill him outright. But I need to find him. Excuse me, sir. Don't worry about the smell. I just use a lye when I'm dealing with furs. Just be careful you don't get any in your eyes. It stings like hell. Okay, what is it that you do? Not much to it really. Probably the hardest part is catching the damn animal first. You just cut it, shave it, wash it dry. Like I said, there isn't much to it. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to make a mess of perfectly good hide. And that would be a shame. Hey, you know what? You look like a bit of a hunter. Listen, I'm not as young as I used to be, and tracking wild animals is starting to get hard on my poor legs. If you can bring me 5 pelts for from both bears and wolves, I'll be sure to make it worth your while. Huh. Weird.
Good day.
Good day. Good day. Now I have a voice. Must be to do with the better cities. Can't see any other reason for him to not have a voice there. Sometimes they do have voices, but the recording from them is really quiet. I have noticed that in a few places. Excuse me.
Yes?
Do you know where I can find him?
Yes. The vampire hunter. As far as I know, he just showed up recently here in Bruma. Not only that, but he already found a vampire among us. Apparently, Braden Lyrian was one of those vile creatures.
I'm going to stop
He
you right
seemed to
there.
be such a likable fellow.
Yeah. I get it. But
You too.
I don't think that he was a vampire. I need to find him. Does anybody know where I can find? I'll ask it an inn. At the seedy inn.
Bones to ash. Back off.
What? Wow, rude.
I have no time for your pathetic attempts at small talk. Now, walk away before I get nasty.
You can try and get nasty if you want, but I predict that it will not end well for you.
Olga sure can tell a good story. I'm not normally a big fan of Bard's tales, but she's got some good ones.
Excuse me, Olav.
What can I do for you today?
Reynald Draelis, do you know where I can find the man?
I usually don't give out that kind of information, especially to people I don't know.
Well, in that case, why don't we get to know each other a
What?
little? And I don't mean that in a flirty sense. Or do I? What would be the best way of getting the information
I'm
from
not
you?
buying no more. Sure, you're a big fat lie. That's a bit excessive. Don't. Sure. Blah blah blah. What was that? Don't. Not bad. Not bad at all.
How about now?
I usually don't give out that kind of info.
Would
Yes?
a little bit of gold loosen your lips?
For me? Thanks. Now that'll get you something. For me? Thanks. I usually don't.
Ah! Hundreds of gold. Right, do I have any more scrolls for this sort of thing? Oh, I must have had more than one. Fabulous. Sorry to have to do that. Maybe you can be a little bit more generous with your information.
Reynald is staying in the last room down the hall upstairs. Here's the key. I always liked Braden and Arlene. They were a nice couple. I hope you get to the bottom of this, because I don't believe he was a vampire either.
Is there any chance you can give me my gold back?
What can I do for you today? May I interest you in some of my fine wares?
I suppose it's not that big of a deal. I can sell that. It's actually useless to me. So is that. So is most of this, actually. I don't...
A fine transaction.
Oh. Oh, resist magic. Sorry, I thought it said restore magic then. Yeah, anyway.
Thank you. Come again.
Maybe I will if you give me my money back. Do you have something else to say to about him?
He isn't in right now, so you should be clear to check it out. Just don't tell anyone I gave the key to you.
Oh. Okay. When will he be
Just
back?
look for me if you need anything else.
Will do. Now. Oh. Gilliborn's journal. The 8th day has passed and still there's no sign of the artifact. We've covered most of the remainder of the outer guard tower and scoured the crumbled gatehouse ruins, but not one clue has arisen as to where it may have been buried. It's quiet out here, as if the ruins were paying respects to the alien inhabitants that disappeared here long ago. We haven't encountered anything hostile, but if we do, I think we're ready. The Brotherhood's been in worse scrapes before. Braden paid good money for the information as to our treasure's whereabouts, and I hope it doesn't turn out to be yet another fiasco. This morning our camp was set upon by some bandits who were protecting what they claimed was their territory. Considering that we were outnumbered 3 to 1, we did very well. Only Reynolds suffered a small wound, but that was easily healed by a potion that Braden had thoughtfully brought with him on our expedition. After getting rid of the bandits' corpses, we set out to tackle the largest part of the ruin, the remains of the great keep. 2 of the walls of the once mighty structure were collapsed, scattering the telltale whitish rock so typical of the alien architecture in this part of Tamriel. This made our assault on the ruin difficult, as many of the larger chunks of wall were far too heavy for us to move. Braden suggested that we search the centre of the building's foundation for any underground entrances, which was typical for this type of keep. His guess paid off, and after several hours of back-breaking work we managed to clear an opening just large enough for us to squeeze through and enter an ancient stairwell leading down into the ground. We decided to wait until morning's light to begin our descent into the depths of the ruin. After a restless sleep, all of us were excited at the prospect of what might lie ahead. Eagerly we dipped our torches in a fresh container of pitch, lit them and entered the inky blackness of the stairwell. The stale air was choked with dust and fine grit, a sign that no one... Ow, I hit my elbow. A sign that no one had entered this portion of the ruins in a very long time. We became excited, as that meant no other tomb robbers had gotten there before us. The stairwell eventually levelled out into a corridor of sorts that snaked its way into the north. As we carefully walked along, I scanned the floor and walls very carefully for any type of triggers, tripwires, or pressure plates, such as was my speciality. The Iliad were well known for their cunning traps protecting their tombs, and I wasn't taking any chances. Braden, the scholar of the Brotherhood, was getting more and more excited as we traversed the passage. He was translating the wall carvings and becoming certain that we had finally found the true location of our prize. After walking for several more minutes, we were overjoyed to see what we were hoping to see. The hallway ended at a metal door, with a carving of a spider upon it. Now came the true test of Braden's information. The door supposedly had a puzzle lock. By pulling the spider legs in a certain combination, it would unlatch. The wrong combination would spell our deaths, perhaps triggering a collapse of the hallway or some other equally deadly trap. With a shaky hand, I pulled the legs one by one in the order I had memorized. The 6th one, then the 1st, 2nd, 8th, and finally the 1st one again. I closed my eyes as there were a few loud clicks, and then the door popped open. We all breathed a sigh of relief. Pushing open the door, I looked in at a huge room with a pedestal at the centre. Sitting on the pedestal, illuminated by a shaft of sunlight from a tiny hole in the ceiling, was our prize. The floor was covered in a huge mosaic of a stylized spider, all 8 of its legs coming to a point ending up at the door entrance. This was the last of the traps the Iliad left behind to protect their treasure. Again, if it hadn't been for Braden's skill at acquiring information, we may never have known how to solve this last line of defence. I instructed Braden and Raynor to remain at the entrance and to tie a rope around my waist in case of a sudden pitfall. Carefully, I began to walk on the darkened tiles that formed the third leg of the spider. Sweat beaded on my forehead as the pathway made by the tiny pieces of ceramic was very narrow at the start, and one slip could mean instant death. But death never arrived. The information had been correct, and I was able to make it to the pedestal and secure the artifact. Quickly as possible, we made our way back and out into the daylight. Once again, the Brotherhood was triumphant, and it was time to return home. At the tavern that night, we decided to make a pact. We would stash the artifact in a cave not far from Bruma until we researched it further. An item of its magnitude could be very dangerous if mishandled, and we certainly didn't want to sell it without understanding its true value. Braden agreed to contract a local cooper to construct a chest with 3 locks. Each of us would hold a key to one of the locks, so none would have access to the artifact without the others being present. For the rest of the evening we drank merrily and sang a song of adventures past and adventures to come. I'm starting to put this puzzle together. I'm going to take that. That's evidence.
Hello.
Hello.
What can I do for you?
Nothing at the moment, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Olav. You're probably worth every penny, actually, that I gave you, even though it wasn't that got me the information, but there you go. I should take this to Carius. Is that his name? I'm bad at remembering names. Carius Runelius or something like that. Or something or nothing. Who was the third person mentioned in that? Gellerborn's journal. Gellerborn is the third person. And the other two involved in this altercation. You've moved the body. Why have you moved the body?
So, any new revelations in your investigation?
I don't like your tone. But yes, there are some revelations. There was a third person involved in this, actually. There is a previously existing relationship between Braden Lyrian and Raynor Draelus, and it is centered around someone called Gellerborn and an artifact the 3 of them stashed. Let's start with Braden's involvement.
I'm sure Erlene is very upset. She'll be safe, though. Raynor has confirmed with us that she isn't infected.
Of course
Her
he has.
accusations that Raynor is lying is not surprising. At this point, she's so upset that she'll say anything to deny what really happened. I suppose if I found out a loved one was something as horrid as a vampire, I'd find any excuse not to believe it either.
You're a horrible man. Right. Gellerborn.
How do you know about that? Oh, too many people don't know how to keep quiet about official matters. Very well. The Skingrad City Watch informed us that Gellerborn was killed by Raynor not too long ago. Gellerborn was a vampire as well, obviously.
Yeah, of course he was. I have evidence to suggest otherwise.
What do you mean you disagree? That's a bold statement. What proof do you have that Gellerborn was not a vampire?
This.
I don't know what to say. It all makes perfect sense now. Why else would Raynor have removed this journal from the crime scene in Skingrad? I heard no mention of a key either. It must have been removed by Raynor from Braden's body before we arrived. To think that 2 innocent men were killed, and that I'm responsible for one of their deaths, I'm speechless. I will rouse the guard and begin a search for him in the city. Meet me at Olav's Tap and Tack in 1 hour.
Well, you moved quickly. I believe I may have solved your riddle.
Hello.
You mentioned you felt like you'd seen him before, this Raynor. I can tell you why that is.
Do you have any more questions? I'm afraid I know little more.
Oh.
I know I sound desperate, but I know I'm right.
I know you're right as well. Whether he deserved to die remains to be seen, but he was definitely not a vampire and should not have been killed under those circumstances. May I take a look down here? I'm going to take your silence as a yes. The body of a beggar was stashed here. So Reynold Draelus killed a beggar as well. Thief of virtue. Alluring gaze. Ceramic vase. There's not much evidence been planted though, has there? I mean, I wonder. Oh, what's that behind the barrel? Strong potion of invisibility. I'm taking this. What's that got to do with anything? Alluring gaze, what does that do? Charm, 10 points for 20 seconds. I'm okay without that, I think. It's on the floor, but it's fine. What's the... Oh, right.
Hello.
Hello. Reynold didn't do a great job of covering his tracks, I'll be honest. But I'll be back in a little while. Carius has... let's say changed his mind on the verdict. I'll be back soon. Olav, that's where I was. Oh, he must have known where he was staying then. Of course he would have known, he was talking to him. Stupid. How dare I think I'm suitable to investigate with such deductions. Still, I found more than the guard did. Also asking a question of one man, the man where... owner and proprietor of where he was staying.
I've much to tell you.
Oh, okay. Are we ready? Is it time?
Just before I arrived here, I received a report from one of our scouts watching the roads. Reynold was spotted heading west out of Bruma. The scout tried to follow, but lost him in the mountains. The only cave to the west that comes close to the one described in Gelliborn's journal is Boreal Stone Cave. That must be where he's headed. You must get there before he acquires whatever artifact is being kept there and makes his escape. I'm keeping the city guard in Bruma, as Reynold doesn't know we're after him. If he sees a guard, he may panic and run. You're my only hope at the moment. Please, you have my authorization to do everything you can to bring him to justice. If he won't surrender, I think you know what to do. Hurry. I fear you have a day at the most to stop him.
Without meaning to sound ungrateful for the opportunity to be involved,
Please hurry. Reynold may
why
have
could you
break
not have
through the
sent a
road.
guard in regular armour? Surely there's just a bit of chainmail lying around. Take my armour. Okay, fine. I'll do it. It's fine. I suppose I'm not doing anything better at the minute. And it gives me a chance to explore the grounds around Bruma, actually, which is something I'm quite keen to do, so I don't know why I was complaining. Just at the competence of the guard, I guess. West. Is there a west gate? You are dressed very ornately, if I do say
I take
so.
it you want something. Well, what is it?
Well,
Yes?
who are you? Jorunda.
Bye.
Oh wait, do you own the jewel shop? Is that... You may own the jewel shop, I'm not sure. Bruma North Gate is spotted heading west.
Oh, it's you.
Why is my reputation so bad? What's my reputation? How do I find out? Fame, 8. Huh. 8. That's not bad. Just gonna quick save because it's out in the wilderness where my frame rate likes to drop. And we're going to head west. And see what we can find. Motherwort. What? See, already the frame rate is just ridiculously low. I might have to turn my distances down actually. Oh, they're already down. Oh, let's just leave it like that and see what happens. It might pick up. Would you follow the road, or would you just... Huh. Looking for a cave. Oh, wow! What on earth are you... Oh, no, 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 no. A spell, a spell, a spell. A useful spell. Wow. Magicka. Require Magicka. Don't like my odds in this cave if this is the kind of thing knocking around out here. Oh, don't attack me. Look at the size of it. It's an enormous Minotaur. And it's made out of ice by the looks of things. Frost Titan. A frost... Oh, 45 strength. Yeah, not bad. And then a poison. Oh. No. No. You are enormous. And I'm really not comfortable with this. Why has it got so much armor? Ow. Oh my goodness. Look at the state of that. Okay, shield, shield, and... Oh, I cannot drink any more potions. Of course. Of course I can't. Oh no. Ow. Thank goodness for my health potions being so good. Oh, okay. Ow, ow. Need to move faster. Need to move faster. Shield me. Shield me. Thank you. Another restore health potion. I need more Magicka. Cannot drink any more potions right now. Ah. Oof. Ugh. Ow. Restore Magicka and shield. Restore. Cannot drink any more potions. That's not good. 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 Oh no! Oh. Another damage health. Quickly. Okay. We're doing some damage. Don't hack the guards. Did you kill it with your fist? A port. We killed a Frost Titan. I never heard of a Frost Titan. 79 weight. That's absurd. Horn weighs 8. Wow. Frost Titan main, that's worth a lot of money. Oh. That was intense. That was very, very intense. In fact, it's so intense that I am going to make a save because that was... Wow. I'm going to guess that you guys had a run-in with the same thing. And it did a number on you. Oh, that's the Arctic fur things I could have bought from the smith before. That's quite nice looking armor, actually. He ruined you guys, didn't he? What's this? Crunchy snow underfoot. What is this place? I don't remember any of this being here. It's like a mine. A quarry. Coal mine. Wow. I would explore, but I believe I'm under a time limit to find this this shady character. Oh look, we've got it marked on our map. Okay, that's good. And it's at this point I realised that my map markers are on still. Or on again, I should say. Apple Watch. What? Is this Apple Watch? Apple Watch farmhouse. Huh. Lots going on outside Bruma. When I have a little more time on my hands, I will endeavour to explore some of it, because that coal mine is very, very interesting. I'll be definitely poking my head in there and seeing what's what. It kind of reminded me of the egg mines in... who are you? Right, what are you fighting? Because if it's a frost titan, there's not enough of you. I can't see what you were in combat with. And because of that, I don't know if I'm going to help you. Maybe it's because my view distance is too low. Deer. It's probably not a deer, is it? I'm going to leave you to it. Although turning up Actifade, probably not a bad call. Is this the cave? Is that a floating rock? I'll have to oh, it's just like a stone archway. Okay, that's fine. Boreal Stone Cave, we found it. Well, for better or for worse, in we go. Just a bit of magicka. You never know when you might need it. I'm not much of a sneak, not in these shoes. Oh, I'm wearing the... What was I wearing before? Oh, the Dragonborn boots, that's what I was wearing before that. Oh, equipment is in dire need of repair. Probably because of the giant, horrible frost titan. I've not even been using my staff, not that it matters because I didn't block once during that. Oh great, underwater. Oh, it's shallow. Reynald Draelus.
Congratulations. I had a feeling you would catch on sooner or later. Leaving that journal behind was a stupid mistake on my part. I saw you enter Olav's Tap and Tack before I could get there, and I knew that I had to sneak out of Bruma somehow. It was only a matter of time before you or Carius figured it out. No matter. After I've killed you, I won't need my vampire hunter ruse any longer.
You will not surrender.
Not. I'm surprised Carius didn't send the entire city watch up here. But then I would have seen that coming, I suppose. I expected to lay low for a while and then be on my way. So again, I underestimated you. This leaves me with little choice. Either I fight you now and have a chance at freedom, or I surrender and rot in a city dungeon. I prefer the chance for freedom.
I'll give you one last chance.
Yes, I suppose it is. Well then, we've talked enough. Only one of us will walk out of here alive this day. Good luck.
Well, if nothing else, you have manners and... right, let's start with these. And then one of these. And then one of these. Well, that was surprisingly easy, actually. I expected... oh, I'll take those keys. I expected a tougher fight. A steel dagger, that's all you were carrying? And a worn leather shield. You weren't very well prepared for this fight, were you? Although I suppose your last victims just were a stab in the back anyway. Mundane amulet. I got a quest pop up then. I'm going to see what it said. Opening the waterlogged chest with all 3 keys, I discovered the artifact to be an amulet. It seems fairly unremarkable, and I am unsure of its function. I should bring it back to Eileen Lyrian and see what she wants me to do with it. Yeah, that seems like the best course of action. So are you just sort of hiding in the dead end? This cave extends. I don't trust caves to be uninhabited, especially not ones this deep. You're stashing gold in here, why? I mean, was it really worth all this for that little amulet? That doesn't seem to have any obvious magical properties. Although you did find it in an alien ruin, and stranger things have been found there than hidden enchantments. So, rest in peace, I guess. Thank God you weren't so very good in combat, because boy, I would have struggled. Well, best get this back to town. No sense hanging around here where frost titans lurk. Frost titans are bad for your health. Excuse me, I may have...
praying for your swift return.
Well, here I am, and I have... Well, I suppose the news is bittersweet at this point, but it's news all the same.
What news do you bring?
Well, first of all, Reynald Draelus is dead.
I knew I'd recognise Raynil. I think when I first met Braden many, many years ago, he introduced me to him. They were part of some sort of brotherhood. They would roam Cyrodiil in search of legendary treasures and the like. The only reason he stopped doing that is because we got married and he wanted to settle down. I'm afraid, thanks to Raynil, that time is lost.
I am very sorry for your loss. Before I reveal this to you, what can you tell me about a man named Gellerborn?
Yes, I remember Braden mentioning that name once. He was part of the brotherhood he had created with Raynil.
Well, this brotherhood unearthed this, and it appears that Braden was killed because of it.
Long ago, I made a promise to Braden. I promised to never reveal to anyone what I'm about to reveal to you now. However, because you've avenged his unjust death, I feel that Braden would understand why I'm breaking that pact. Braden told me about this amulet when they first brought it home from whatever distant land it came from. He never really trusted anyone else in the group, and before he secured the treasure in that cave, he had a special enchantment placed upon it. The magic masks the true identity of the item. All it takes is a simple command word, and the amulet would be restored to its true state.
Did the word die with Braden?
No. He always feared this day would come. He left me knowledge of that word in the event that he died, and I came into possession of the keys. If the other members of Braden's group were still alive, and I on my deathbed, only then would I pass the knowledge on to them. If you'd give me that amulet, I would like to show you what you've recovered.
Of course.
Thank you. I will now speak the word. Brother. Here is the amulet back. It's as beautiful as it was the day I remember seeing it long ago. I want you to keep it, as I have no use for this anymore. I'm certain that's what I want, and I'm certain that's what Braden would want. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope that the amulet helps keep you safe on whatever roads you may travel.
The secret word was brotherhood. Did he ever consider that any of the other two may have accidentally said the word brotherhood around it? Considering, you know, they may have held it and say, but the brotherhood unearthed this, and then the word brotherhood would have been the trigger, and then boom, the enchantment was broken. In frustration, if nothing else. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you for bestowing upon me the gift.
Justice has been done.
Well, sort of justice, I suppose. What kind of amulet is this then? Fortify speed. It's worth 5,000 gold. Fortify speed's always... Wow, that's actually making quite a difference. Huh. I'll keep that, thank you. Well, I think all in all I've had worse days. I decided to stay at the Fighters Guild. The mages were beginning to annoy me. And I feel like I get a bit more peace and quiet here. But that was an unusual business with the Vampire Hunter. However, I did assume that when I found it, that this book would have been connected. The Vampires of Tamriel Volume 2. I could do with finding Volume 1. Because... What? Head north for an hour or so, you'll see a group of dead trees. Head northeast until you come to the water. Follow the shore upstream, his house is close by. Watch out for bears. I have a feeling that's not for me, but that doesn't mean I'm any less intrigued by it. Look at all the mead bottles everywhere. Well, this is the Fighters Guild after all. Oops. Well, looking at those mead bottles reminds me, I am not going to drink. I'm not going to bed sober. Not after all these damned dreams I've been having. Ugh. If I am not completely unconscious for this sleep, then I have no idea what will solve my problem.